The Year of Yeshua's Freedom, Part 2 of Infinity. The Year of Yeshua's Freedom. Free Yeshua. You're going to be hearing me say those two specific words a lot this year. Free Yeshua. Why do I keep saying free Yeshua? Simple. Because the freedom of Yeshua and or the freedom of Israel and or the freedom of Ra and or the freedom of you is the freedom of you. That must make sense to you. Freedom of Yeshua. So here, how am I going to bring about this freedom? Simple. By helping you all spiritually reawaken. First part. Second, fusion. Accept the truth. Accept the truth. Accept the truth. That's the second part. Third, apply the nature. Apply the truth into this world. Apply it. Apply the knowledge you've received into this world. Why would you want to apply knowledge into this world? Simple. Because if you apply your knowledge, meaning the things you've learned about certain things into this world, when you apply your knowledge, what you are applying is a way to stop things ignorant from ruining you. That has to make sense to you. Let me see if I can help it make sense to you. So, somebody who is insane and ignorant appears out of nowhere, trying to drag you into a state of danger, dismay, harm, or confusion. But due to you knowing already what this person may be up to, and you choose not to allow this person in, or this thing, or this essence, or this entity in to drive you into the wrong direction. Applying knowledge. Apply the knowledge you have. Self-defense, in other words. When you apply this knowledge, you can stop this here essence, or this person, or this here thing that is trying to drive you somewhere you don't want to go. That's what it is. That's what free Yeshua is. The freedom of your discernment. The freedom of your ability to see things. The freedom of your knowingness of how you'd like to move in this life, or in this world that you live in, or this reality that you live in. Knowledge of these things, knowledge of those things. That's what free Yeshua is all about. Bringing you awareness. So in other words, I'm just going to be doing the exact same thing I have been doing for the past 3 years straight now. It's just I'm going to be doing it with a lot more stronger parables. Like I said, every video I post, the reasoning, the message, it will get stronger and stronger and stronger every time. It will not go down nor descend. The meaning will just get higher and more intense and more intense and more intense. I have posted now 870 videos, and I still haven't even gotten warmed up. When I tell you the level of I want this to end, how immeasurable this here desire is, it'd be hard for most of you to fathom. So here, be obligated to fathom it. Let's begin. So, the primary theme of this here Free Yeshua Part 2 is going to be the internal, external. Internal, external. Internal, external. What can you tie to things that are internal? What can you tie to things that are external? Internal, external. For those of you who are thinking of promiscuous thoughts, click off. And just stay off of my channel, or stay away from anything that you may even possibly hear me say, until you are ready to think maturely. Internal, external. So, what's internal? An example. Internal, the metaphysical realm. The metaphysical realm is internal. What's an example of the external? The physical realm, reality itself. That's an example of the external. Internal, external. What else is an example of the internal, external? History, internal. That's an example of what's internal, history. What's an example of what's external? The present. The very present moment in time that you are all residing within. That's an example of what is external. Internal, external, right? The metaphysical realm, which is internal. It is omnipresent, meaning it is everywhere at all times and in all directions that you may possibly be able to go to. The external, physical realm, it is infinite. The external physical realm is infinite, meaning infinite possibilities, immeasurable amounts of possibilities and or things exist within this here physical realm. It is not finite, it is infinite. In, Latin origin, meaning not. Fin, Latin origin, meaning finished. So that means the physical reality is not finished, it is ever expanding. The physical reality is not finished, it is ever expanding. Internal, external. History. What year and or age and or time are we in currently according to how they brand timelines? Right now, currently, we will be in something known as the AD age, right? And what does AD stand for? Anno Domini. And what does Anno Domini mean? In the year of the Lord. Which Lord are you talking about? Yeshua. So that means AD means in the year of the Lord of Yeshua's birth. So that means as soon as Yeshua was born, the Anno Domini timeline started according to how it's supposed to mean. Of course, they are changing everything up every 4 minutes of the day in order to keep us all confused and thrown off of who we all truly are. Anno Domini means in the year of the Lord Yeshua, in the year of the Lord Yeshua's birth. And from there, we are all now residing within the AD age, the Anno Domini age, in the year of the Lord Yeshua's birth age. BC, what does BC stand for? Before Christ. Before Christ means before the King of all kings was born. Those years, all of that time before his birth. That's what BC means. Internal, external. The Anno Domini represents the external, present. The BC, before Christ, represents the history, before, past. Internal, external. What am I getting at? You are about to know. Bring moral character to the physical. Bring moral character to the physical. Where does the good moral character come from? God. Where does God come from? The beginning of everything in the universe as we know it. Moving along. So, internal, external. Before Christ, internal. Anno Domini, in the year of the Lord, external. So, take that with you. Apply it to a foundational ground for this conversation here or this here video to work for you, right? So, now, the word character, like I said, this is where I was getting at. Back again to the word character. This is the Year of Yeshua's Freedom video. The Year of Yeshua's Freedom. So I'm going to be talking about all the things that'll grant Yeshua its freedom. A person can be anything, even you. Did you know a person can be you? Did you know, instead of the name Jesus being Jesus, his name could be Israel? Did you know Jesus could actually just be Israel? Did you know that? It can be whatever they want it to be. Israel will be better off remembered as a person anyways, and not a nation or a country. Why so? Because a person could be anything. A country can only be a country. Can the people of the country be anything? Yeah, but those are the people of the country, not the borderline name or the imaginary name of the borderline. Moving along. The word character defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. That's what the word character defines as, right? Character, the mental and moral qualities. Before I go on, remember my 4 Exodus keywords? Remember those? Apply that to this video as well for it to make more sense before I go on even further. What were the 4 Exodus keywords? Morals, principles, standards, character, right? Morals, principles, standard, character. First, morals. Second, character. Third, standards. First, morals. Second, principles. Third, standard. Fourth, character, right? Morals, principles, standards, character. To memorize the Exodus keywords a little bit more, let's put them in a sentence that'll make it sound more effective. Your character's moral, principle, standard. What is your character's moral, principle, standard? Moral, principle, standard. using all 4 Exodus keywords in a sentence just to help you remember it more. What are your character's moral principle standards? Do you have a bad moral principle standard? Because if your character has a bad moral principle standard, and in reality, your character, instead of meaning the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual, it will be the insane and immoral qualities distinctive to you and you alone, which you then take and try to attach to the behavioral system of everybody else alive, which then in turn causes everybody else alive to look at those people with the bad behavior attached to them due to you putting it in their heads for it to be attached to them in the first place, gets seen as Hitler. People who need to be taken out. Is that why you harlotry women won't shut up, telling every person alive that all men are bad and unacceptable behavior? Why are you helping the enemy? You know men aren't like this, yet you keep saying they are. You know they're not. You just want them to be. Moving forward. So here, right? What are your character's moral principle standards? What does the word character mean? The word character defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. Mental, internal. Morals, external. Mental qualities, internal. Moral qualities, external. So that means your mental qualities are omnipresent, omnidirectional, everywhere and all at once. Yet you can control them. How is this possible? You want to know how this is possible? Because you are God. Accept it. It's the truth. Moral qualities. Your moral qualities are based on your heart of heart spiritual powers and on your experiences at the same time. Your moral qualities are based on your heart of heart spiritual powers and your experiences at the same time. Your mental qualities give you the ability to control your moral qualities. As one thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Proverbs 23:7, right? Your mental qualities help you control how your moral qualities perceive things and help you control what you do as you execute physical moral character and moral character alone. The one universal law of love, balanced love, just love, the love of lovers. I should have said lovers, supremacy. Or the love of loves. Should I keep it at love of loves, or should I say love of lovers, supremacy? Why am I talking this calmly? Why? Because I am saying these things not out of love, but with it. Meaning I, myself, this physical vessel, and all of the things this physical vessel has endured, which were not beautiful things, they were things specifically designed to say fuck your life and everything that you want to do inside of it. So, through these so-called scars that you all feel like are testing, I am saying things with the only thing in reality that loves you. Long story short. So, mental qualities, internal, moral qualities, external. If you do anything against moral qualities, you deserve to die. Mental qualities, internal, moral qualities, external. Your mental qualities are omnipresent, omnidirectional. Your moral qualities are infinite. By any and every moral means necessary, should you all be gung-ho to allow righteousness to eliminate evil and knowledge to eliminate insanity. Why don't you? Because right now we are living in the age of the devil's freedom, not the Yeshua's freedom. Why are we living in the age of the devil's freedom and not Yeshua's freedom? If we were living in the age of Yeshua's freedom, the only law there would be to abide by is love. And if you break the law of love, because it's very simple to follow and abide by, you deserve to die. So, putting this here law back into the world so we can all see who deserves to die. I'm not trying to say things that'll get these people to pull up on me and lock me up, because let's never forget, the only people in the world that honestly execute consequences are white folks. But what kind of consequences do they get for their actions? Zero. What are your character's moral principle standards? What are they? Does your character have a bad moral principle standard? Because if it's a bad moral principle standard, then that means you have immoral principle standards. If you have a good moral principle standards, then that means you simply have mental and moral qualities. Want to know why? Because your heart of hearts is the base of your moral perspective. Your heart of heart spiritual powers by default is the base of your moral perspective. The first thing you will see is the right thing to do. After that, depending on who's been overwhelmingly programming you to do the wrong thing, like these harlot women who are just constantly saying that all men are bad, you will do. Meaning, if nothing is telling you to do wrong, you will not do wrong. But if something is endlessly telling you to do wrong, you will be obligated to do wrong, even while you are naturally trying to do right. And then if that happens, meaning if the chaos and the order blends or tries to, since evil is trying to force death to blend with life, it becomes just that, chaos, chaotic, meaning now you are doing evil things for your so-called good intentions. Just like everybody who are a part of the oppressive body are doing right now currently. Did you know the entire oppressive body are just another group of people? Or you could say multiple groups of the one thing they all are, people, because they all call themselves things. Just multiple groups of people calling themselves things. Telling you all to believe we're different. We're a different group of people. And you all believe it. You know, another reason that the saliva stuff happens is because the same oppressive people decided to put a retainer in my face. I said 1,000,000 times over, they wired my face up to make it look different. They really don't want you to know how to get out of this hell. And now it's like that's all I exist to do is get out of this hell. Just me personally though, only me. Only me. It just so happens that my me in translation means melanin entities. So that means everybody black. Because a person can be anything. So I'm going to be all the black people in the world. Why not? I told you, I, the truth myself, am going to fuse with you. So, it's all about me, and it'll never be about anything else ever. Only me. My character's moral principle standards are immaculate, amazing, great, good. You want to know why? Because it's obligated to be. It can't be anything else other than what it is, perfection. This is what my character's moral principle standard is. I stand on unconditional love and unconditional love only. Want to know why or how? Because I was obligated to this day I was born. As soon as I was born, my stance upon unconditional love became inevitable. I didn't ask to be born into a principle as such. I just was. No one in the world is asking to be born on these divine principles. You just are. Why? Because of other things that happen in the galaxy to ensure this reality would exist for you too. Now we can go into the science and the 4 fundamental forces of nature all you want to, and the elements and yada yada yada, but here's the thing. It already is, no matter what you find out or what you want to be next. You can choose to do something with this here vessel that you have that automatically stands on unconditional love, or you can allow things outside of you to decide what this vessel that is standing on unconditional love should be doing for you. And from the sounds of it, everybody outside of this here vessel that is bound to stand on unconditional love, no matter what it wants to do at all, has something to say like, all men are rapists, especially black men. My skin is copper, it ain't black. But you're classified as a black man. Why won't you stop? Why can't you stop? Why do you endlessly do it? Do you even notice that you're endlessly doing it? Or you're just so warped into it that you're like attached to behavior to his moral principle standards, must attach the unacceptable behavior to his moral principle standards. Just like robots, like zombie robots. I don't want foul orientations of any sort or category attached to my moral principle standards. Or should I say attached to my character's moral principle standards. Why? Because then they won't be my character's moral principle standards. And why? How is that? Because don't forget, character defines as the mental and moral qualities distinctive to an individual. So if you attach something bad to it, it won't be a character anymore. You'll just be a devil with insane and immoral qualities. The word character defines as the mental and moral qualities. It doesn't define as the insane and immoral qualities, but if you attach something bad to it and get it to stick to it like glue, then it becomes insane and immoral. No more character, just evil. Evil and insanity is only evil and insane. It cannot be anything else, nor can you even try to blend it with anything else. I don't want to be like you. Why do you want me to be like you? You're falling for this demon's games. I want to get out of them. Morals, principles, standards, character. How do you get out of them? You have to realign with your natural character's moral, principle, standards. It's the first way to do it. You have to realign with your natural character's moral, principle, standards. It's one of the first ways. Let me say just the first step towards how to do it. Get out of this hell. Just speaking an opinion, of course, as always. I am just a man with a conviction. What is my conviction? God will have his world. Who is God? What is God? God, in my opinion, is the essence that existed before all of your religions, all of your tribes, all of your gangs, all of your foul entertainment and your foul sexual orientations, and your feminism and your racism, and your ignorance and your fears. God is the essence that existed before all of these things. The life-giving essence. The one that ain't trying to kill you at all. This is who I believe God is. Energy. Very, very good energy that don't ever mean you any harm, only mean you benefit. And this energy is responsible for us being here, not telling us how we should be while we are here. And this energy, this very moral energy, this very good natural energy, I believe, is your original character's moral principle standard. Me personally, I believe this, and you can find out about this entity or this energy by studying all of history. What happens when you study history? You'll find out about the very first essence that ever gave us life. Now, one more note that I want to leave you with as far as the internal history and the omnipresence in which history is for the world, because the history is omnipresent, isn't it? History is all over the world. Every country has a history. Every person within the country has a history. Every country has, or every continent has, a point where according to the history or the information out here where all the continents were one. You don't have to buy that, especially seeing as how the flat earth theory is starting to force you all to believe in its thing now. Everything has history, doesn't it? History is omnipresent, wouldn't you agree? Is history infinite? From what I'm looking at. If you want to say it is, sure. But the things that can happen in the present seem more infinite than the things that happen in history, because the things that happen in history cannot be changed and or become anything else. They can only be what they are, what happened. How did this setup get out here for us? What is this setup out here doing? You want to know what this setup of the current world is doing? Forcing us to have bad behavioral practices tied to our character's moral principle standard. And if bad behavioral practices tie and or latch on to your character's moral principle standards, they are no longer what they are naturally. Because now they're just become immoral principle standards, not even character, just immoral principle standards. Remove the character entirely. Leave the last three words, but change the second one to just immoral. This setup came from the history. Or at least you can learn about how the setup came from history, or how it's here through history. Why do I keep saying the setup? Because the setup, every time you step in it, it's latching unacceptable things unto you. Unacceptable behavior unto you, it's latching it on. Every step you take in it, every time you eat of some food with dead people inside of it. Being dead is bad. So that means deadness is bad, trying to be attached to your character's moral principle standards. Rape is bad. The video is limited, so I got to land my point now. To realign with your natural character's moral principle standards, you have to go through the history and find out who was your first God. Essentially, this is what you have to do. At the end of the day, everybody's going to go through a religion before we get to absolute freedom. I'm not religious. I'm going to be on the other side of that stop, waiting for you to rise up even higher. The God that I speak of is not a part of any religion because it was here before all of them. It was here before the physical reality was. The God I speak of was here before the physical reality was. The life-giving source God energy I speak of was here before the physical reality was, and everything that's inside of it. Reconnecting with that God is realigning with your character's moral principle standard. The first step towards getting out of this hell. The twist of ignorance to awareness and the freedom of Yeshua forevermore. Or the freedom of your soul self. Because in my opinion, this is who Yeshua truly is. Our soul self. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Peace, love, unity, and advancement to you all, my family.